Hamitakiape, Ariella Leaf Imakiapie.
Hamidakiapi, Emily Amakiapie.
Hamitakiapi, Asini Makiapiro.
Hamidakiapi, Haley Makiapie.
Hamadakiapi, Brittany Makiapie.
We are Chanshayapi Wakayaja Oiawa OT. Lower Sioux Children are Sacred School. So the Lower Sioux Early Head Start and Head Start. CWOO!
Chanshayapi Wakayaja Oiawa OT. Chanshayapi is the name of the Dakota name of this area. It's a literal translation. Chanshayapi would mean where they make the trees red. Wakayaja is children, and Dakota, in our thought, we consider a child as being closer to the Creator, so they're sacred. Wakayaja. Oiawa is like a school or a place of learning, and OT would be the building itself. Chanshayapi Wakayaja Oiawa OT. The mission of the school is to raise the next generations of Dakota language speakers.
We are a school that serves children ages birth through 5 years old in the Lower Sioux Indian Community Service area to help grow children developmentally, cognitively, and socially emotionally.
And we're the first Dakota Head Start in the state of Minnesota, and we were the only startup Head Start in the whole nation this past year.
In 5 years, the goal of the school is to be completely immersion. So the start of the day to the very end of the day, Dakota spoken only.
The school has created a huge opportunity to serve up to 74 children and families by opening a huge need with the current child care shortage.
We are able to serve 10% of our population at the school here is children with disabilities, so we're really able to provide them with early intervention services and helping them with IEPs or IFSPs and just giving them that extra assistance that they need.
36, that's the number of jobs we've created for the Lower Sioux Indian community and the surrounding area.
I work at CWOO because I love working with children. I love being able to work with the Dakota language, and I just love to be a part of my community and be able to give back to those kids, make a part of themselves. I want to be a part of raising our children in the community in a good way. I want to look back and be able to say, I really made a difference in somebody's life. I work at CWOO because it is a very big step for our culture and for the reservation to make this connection for their children, to bring back the language and to help involve the parents with their children and their growing up.
Well, I work here because I have a young daughter who's 2 years old. She's able to go here. What this school offers is an opportunity that I never had as a child.
I feel very strongly about the importance of early education. Education starts from birth, and I think it's important that we get kids here at our school as early as we can to learn things to make them school ready, but also so they can learn the language. There's plenty of studies showing how beneficial it is to be bilingual, and it helps with every area of your education.
It was really a call from the community. We did an assessment survey in May 2017, and it was almost unanimous that the community asked to open up a child care setting that would help implement the Kotawi Chohan, the Dakota way of life, and languages. And so from there we wrote a grant, and we were able to receive grant money so that we could open a birth to 3-year-old school. And from there we received more grants that we can open a 3 to 5-year-old school. So that's really the beginning of what happened here, and I work here because my whole life goal was to help raise the next generation of language speakers and grow the whole community in language so we can revitalize not only our identity but our sovereignty. So that's why I work here. There's so many accomplishments I think so far. I think every day those kids come in and they are speaking more, they're more prideful with who they are, they're drumming every day in class, and they are answering their little telephones with how or ha, and then when they're sweeping they say kahinta, just when they're saying their words, and they're saying it with feeling. And so a little girl will fall and another little girl will say shitchaya, and it's super sassy, but they did it sassy in the language. And so to me that's their pride coming back, and that's really their identity being shown, and it's going to really help them throughout their whole life.
Our accomplishment, I believe, is
getting the parents more involved. We are having them believe that they can get their child school ready within their own community and like understanding that we are a family as one.
We've been able to provide services such as our mental health coordination. That's been a big part in what we do here. Being able to provide behavioral resources to our parents has been helpful for them.
About a month after we opened, we did a developmental screener, the Bergans. We had some children, based on their scores, they were a little lower, so we looked into referring to see if we could get some services provided for them. But we waited, and a month later we retested, and with steady attendance, a lot of them, their scores went up and they no longer needed to be referred.
I believe the teacher is a huge position. We are the all-day, everyday caretaker and educator. We eat, play, and comfort the children every day, exposing them to language throughout the day.
Every day, just making sure we're keeping on it, they're keeping on it, and they even correct us sometimes, or it's awesome.
We are doing it. We're teaching them the language. The kids are running around singing the songs and counting.
The kids hear it, learn it, speak it at the school, at home, out and about around the community if you see them in public.
We are slowly bringing back the language, and you can already hear that in the kids, and it's only been a couple months.
Being a family advocate, we are kind of like the middleman for the school and the families and the kids, and just making sure that all of the kids and families' needs are being met.
My job as center supervisor is to oversee the teachers, make sure that they're confident in what they're teaching and that they have all the materials they need to support the curriculum that we use.
As the education coordinator, I oversee all the curriculum and I make sure the teaching staff is checking in on our children, making sure that they're following along with their progress and their developmental checkpoints. If a child isn't following those checkpoints, then as a disabilities coordinator, I'm able to screen the child and contact local agencies that we partner with. One of those agencies is Help Me Grow. I also work with school districts in our area to provide early intervention services. And then as the mental health coordinator, I also work hand in hand with our mental health consultant, which is Greater Minnesota Family Services in the SEED program. I'm able to provide resources with our staff and our families when behavioral challenges arise.
I'm the Oiawati Oitacha, which is the director. So I oversee the whole school, make sure the grants are going good, and make sure that we are not only looking at our past, remember, reclaim, and reconnect our Dakota ways of life, but also we're looking at the present. How are we doing? Are we accomplishing the school goals? Is the community involved? Are the parents involved? And then also we're looking towards the future. So what's next? How do we keep growing these children? And how do we work with folks to make sure that these children are set to go in their language, and then their parents are set and the community is set? And so that's just a little bit what the position is.
I would say definitely the staff, they really truly care about these students. I've never really seen a school like this.
It's more than just a daycare. It's a school, and they are learning here.
I think a lot of people don't realize that even our babies, when they start at 6 weeks, we have a curriculum we follow. So we're always, there's always education going on. They're always learning. They're learning, things like their alphabet, things like that, and then they're learning the language. And it starts as soon as they start at 6 weeks.
Our wraparound services, they're amazing. We just want the overall well-being of the families taken care of, and we just want the families to know that we care about them, and we just appreciate them sharing their children with us every day.
It all came together because of the call from the community. And every single thing we do, the big word is intentional. And so when we built the foundation, we were very intentional about it. When we were looking for who would be in those positions, we were intentional. We did a job fair. We did an informational session right in the beginning of the grant when we weren't even open, so that people would know just the little information we knew so that they could really grow the school with us. And so we're trying to grow with and for the community, and so intentionally we are doing just that. And we really welcome everybody's input. We need it, and we need all of them. We need everybody to be a team, not just the staff. And so we're ready to keep growing, and we really want to hear what the community has to say about that and what direction we're going to go in, because we're listening.